G'day guys, welcome to Year 7 NAPLAN Tips and Tricks, Part 5. If you haven't seen my other videos on Year 7 NAPLAN, I'll link them in the top right. Let's get into the video. So let's start at question 21. Monty and Tara buy pencils for school. Tara buys 2 times the number of pencils Monty buys, plus an additional 4 pencils. Let M be the number of pencils Monty buys. Which expression shows the number of pencils Tara buys? So the clue here is an additional 4 pencils. The only expression we can see that has an additional 4 pencils is A, because it has plus 4 here. And we know the rest of the expression's correct, because here it says 2 times M. M is the number of pencils Monty buys, and Tara buys 2 times that number. So that's why option A, 2 times M plus 4, is correct. Question 22. Select the statement that is true about triangle ABC. So this is triangle ABC because it has the letters ABC. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but anyway, we know that triangle ABC, all the angles would add up to 180 degrees because there's 180 degrees in a triangle, which means that if we add 90 and 45, it makes 135, and we subtract that from 180, would find out what the remaining angle is. And that last angle is 45 degrees. And because these two sides are both 45 degrees, those are the requirements necessary for an isosceles triangle, which is option B. Question 23. Amber is keeping silkworms. She records the number of leaves they have eaten every 5 days. If this pattern continues, how many leaves will the silkworms have eaten in 25 days? So let's look at the pattern. Between 5 and 15, how many ways can you get to it? You can add 10, and you can times it by 3. So let's check those two. So from 15 to 45, let's try and add 10. That doesn't work, because 15 plus 10 is 25. So we know that the pattern is times 3. 15 times 3 is 45. 45 times 3 is 135, which means that we'll have to find 135 times 3 to get the answer, and that is 395. So the answer is 395. Question 24. Hannah flipped a fair coin 60 times. She recorded her results in a table. What is the difference between the expected number of heads and the actual number of heads? Okay, so we can say that she flipped heads 24 times. And it says something about an expected number of heads or something. But where does it say what the expected number of heads is? So we'll have to guess that, and I'm going to explain how you do that. We can see at the top it says she flipped a fair coin. They wouldn't say a fair coin is a coincidence. It has to mean something. And in this case, what a fair coin means is that you can have an equal chance of landing on heads and tails when you flip it. And for it to be an equal chance, it would have to be the same number of flips. So 60 divided by heads or tails, which is 2 options, gives you 30. So the expected number of heads and the expected number of tails are both 30. So we have to see what the difference between 24 and 30 is. 30 minus 24 is 6. So the difference between the expected number of heads and the actual number of heads is 6. Question 25. Gwen has 6 cups of sugar. A biscuit recipe uses 3/4 of a cup of sugar for each batch. What is the greatest number of batches Gwen can make? So what we want to do on this question is we want to see how many times 3/4 can go into 6. Or divide 6 by 3/4. But how do we do that? What we're going to do is convert 6 to a fraction, so we're working with 2 fractions. The 6 converted to a fraction is actually just 6 over 1, because a fraction is a division problem. It's the numerator divided by the denominator, which means that 6 divided by 1 makes 6. And now we need to divide that by 3 over 4. And how do we do that? Now there's 2 ways of doing it, and I'm going to show you both of them. Alright, the first way is we are going to write out the 6 over 1, which is the first fraction, and then we're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and we're going to flip the second fraction, so that would make 4 over 3. And now what we basically do is we just times both sides. So 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 times 3 is 3. And 24 divided by 3 makes 8. 8 is the answer. The other way to do it is to make the bow tie and basically multiply these by each other. So 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 times 3 is 3. And that also makes 8. The answer is D, 8.